for him to get fights at 140, especially if he doesn't own any kind of a championship belt.
Well, the big name at 140 is Costa. And if you're Costa, you certainly aren't going out of your way anytime soon to fight Shane Mosley unless your feet get put to the fire. Closer look.
Mosley was the Fighter of the Year by the Boxing Writers Association of America, and his 94% KO rate is the highest ever for a champion who's had as many as 30 fights.
29 knockouts in 31 fights. Let's go to Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Fantasy Springs Casino here in Indio, California, home of the Cabazon Mission Indians, Cedric Kushner Promotions in association with America Presents, along with your undisputed, undefeated King of Beers, Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Present 12 rounds of boxing for the International Boxing Federation Lightweight Championship of the World. Sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, Chairman Ernest H. Weiner, Vice Chairman Cal Soto. Our physicians at ringside are Dr. Howard Baer and Dr. Paul Wallace. Timekeeper and counting for the knockdown seconds, Debbie Garcia. The 3 judges assigned to score this bout on a 10-point must system will be Robert Bird, Gerald Motz, and Lee McCowan. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Pat Russell. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the sold-out, standing-room-only crowd in attendance here at Fantasy Springs Casino and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black and weighing in at 134 1/4 pounds. He brings a professional to the ring with 19 victories in 24 bouts, 10 of those by knockout with 5 losses. But he has proven his worthiness as a challenger with his upset knockout of former world champion Gabe Reles. Ladies and gentlemen, from Atlantic City, New Jersey, here is the former USBA champion, the challenger, the Eastern Beast, John Brown. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner across the ring, wearing black and cream and weighing in at 135 pounds. A perfect professional record consisting of 31 bouts, 31 victories, 29 by knockout, and he is included by many as, pound for pound, one of the best in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, from Pomona, California, presenting the undefeated IBF lightweight champion of the world, Sugar Shane Mosley.
Doc. Thank you. You can take the second. Jimmy.
Okay, gentlemen, 12-round championship of the world. Touch your gloves up. Good luck to both fighters.
John Brown says he's going to have to walk through the super shots to get to Mosley. Good luck to him.
Shane Mosley has been frustrated by what he thinks is the refusal of West Coast media to pay attention to him. Shane believes that if you're not Oscar De La Hoya, West Coast media don't pay any attention to you and don't give you the credit you deserve. Tonight, the Los Angeles Times has staffed the fight. Maybe fighting here near his hometown of Pomona will help.
Already you can see how difficult a target that John Brown is. Mosley is a wonderful body puncher, but there's virtually no body on John Brown to punch.
Mosley, in his last appearance against Golden Johnson knocked Johnson down several times. I believe the fourth knockdown was the one that stopped the fight. But most of the knockdowns offered by vicious body shots. Same thing against Jesse James Leija last year. He's become a dedicated body puncher, and there's the right cross around the top after he goes to the body first.
This is a fight that could easily go the distance. But Mosley could be pushed to go 12 rounds for the first time since he's won the title.
Look at the hand speed. The truly great ones fire punches in blurred bunches, and Shейн Mosley has that capacity. John Brown concertedly trying to work to the body in round one. Maybe try to take a little of Mosley's speed away.
Hold on a side, man. Free up those hands. Once you get out. Step. Watch your head, John. Step back.
You say the bout very well could go the distance, Larry. A lot of us think it probably should. Brown is so tough. But there's an opportunity there for Mosley. If he can leave John Brown's body a moldering on the canvas, that'll be one of his biggest accomplishments so far, I think. Brown has never been down in his career.
With 12 hard rounds with Angel Manfredi. And, of course, beat Gabe Ruelas.
Beat Gabe Ruelas as a substitute for Jesse James Leija, a fighter Ruelas would have had a much better chance of beating, some of us believe.
Continue with the rhythm. Just keep that jab in his face. The only thing you can do is try to come in and make it a dog fight. As long as you power box, keep the jab in his face, drop the right hand in every now and then, get your rhythm going, then you can put together some more combinations. But the main thing is keep the jab in his face. Too short to go to the body all the time, but we've got to set that up too. But if you keep the jab in his face, it's going to bring his hands up.
I'm not holding me, holding me.
We don't have to get up soft.
Trust me, I'm scared to death of you. You were a little bit tentative. You almost keep my feet, There's
only 3 guys left in the corner. One of you's going to have to go down.
What did you say, baby? I'm trying to get my foot in first round. That's okay. You got it. You did great. He's scared of you, Sean. He's scared of you.
Mouthpiece in, seconds out. Mouthpiece, get out of my way.
Mark, same thing. Just go off the line. The only thing you can do is come in.
Now, go ahead.
This is a fight of class versus mass.
Explain.
Well, it's obvious that Shейn Mosley is the classy fighter here. He's the Porsche. He's got the quickness, the reach. He could throw the blinding combinations. Brown just has to somehow get to him, wear him down over a period of rounds. He's the half-ton truck in this game.
Brown given credit by CompuBox for landing only 7 punches in the first round. Slow start, but you heard Brown's trainer, Malcolm Perkins, whispering to him between rounds that he felt Mosley was scared of him.
Yeah, right.
All right, I got it. Stop punching. Don't put that in his head. John, go back. Go back on the head.
Recently, there was a fight between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and a very, very tough, rugged South American fighter who carried him to the distance. This has aspects of the same kind of a fight.
You look at the powerful legs of John Brown. Strong foundation. That's the heart of why he's never been knocked down. The guy's lost 5 fights. He spent much of his career as a relatively mediocre fighter. Has come on in the last couple of years, partially as the result of his extraordinary new training methods.
He says when 2 fighters get in the ring, just the 2 of them alone, it's lovely. Is how he put it. I don't know if he feels it's lovely right now. Nice little left hook by Mosley on the inside.
Yeah, Brown saying he can bring thousands of people from Pomona, but they won't be in the ring against me. And just as we suspected might be the case, Brown in the first couple of rounds proving a relatively elusive target for Mosley. Mosley, who often can land close to half his punches or more, the way Manfredi did in the first fight tonight against Ivan Robinson, landing about a third of his punches against John Brown.
Yeah, and he's virtually stopped throwing body punches. There's just no place to do it. He'll throw some, but he's headhunting right now.
Just not enough body there to try to use it as a target.
You know, it's like, to use another metaphor, it's like a leopard or predator against a turtle that's angry and aggressive, but doesn't have much quickness.
I can leave, baby. I can leave. Breathe in, breathe out. Put that leg over there. I can leave.
Hold on. Give me a towel. Give me a little towel. My darling friend.
Honestly, I don't want to hold it inside.
Okay.
His hands are free, punch your way up.
Okay, yeah. Look at me. All right. Listen to me. Listen to me. Everything we practice, JB, we throw 1 punch at a time. He's so scared of you. Look at his eyes. Both punches. Please hit him with the right hand. I want to hit him with it.
Take your time. Just work it short.
Set it up.
Do it with the quickness. Set it up.
Here's a left hook.
Mouthpiece in, seconds out.
That's a punch that Mosley normally likes to throw to the body. Some pretty good fighters out in the audience here. Next fighter is Boom Boom Mancini. I see Vince Phillips sitting over there. Obakar.
Vince Phillips in need of another comeback after his upset loss to Teron Millette on the undercard of Trinidad Whitaker in New York.
Okay, we're getting 3 hands now. Free them up. Free up those hands. Punch your way out. Step up. Step down. Watch yourself.
Of course, we're not far from Big Bear, which is now the training capital for many key fighters in the sport.
And a couple of hours from Las Vegas as well.
Okay, free up those hands. Free them up. Free up those hands. Free them up.
Mosley turned southpaw momentarily.
Brown's corner asking him between rounds, please throw the right hand. Brown saying, I'm trying to throw it. Got to find the right opportunity. Mosley, who earns most of his kudos as an offensive fighter, knows how to defend as well. Saw Mosley mimicking Brown's movements with the gloves as he tried to get into a rhythm where he could time a big shot.
That right hand coming a little bit closer to Mosley.
Mosley reaching with his right hand across the top. Brown wrestles inside. They both work to the body. Referee Pat Russell told both corners, I don't want to have to pull them apart.
Stop. Break.
Good left hook. Yeah, a little left hook inside by John Brown.
Oh, let it out. Let it out. Free hands. Free up those hands. Put those hands. You're hanging on each
One of the things Brown does in training is to lift large men up and carry them for long distances. His trainer says at the end of the day, he makes him pick up everybody who works in his corner and carry them out of the ring. Slip. No punch.
Maybe they should spend more time working on his punches.
Three-handed. I got him. Stop punching.
Rugged first 3 rounds with not a lot of effective punches landed. Next Tuesday, check out the latest Real Sports with Brian Gumbel. Among the stories, profile of the Yankees' David Cone, who's gone from rabble-rouser to one of baseball's outspoken leaders, and an investigation into counterfeit golf clubs. You'll see how they affect golf's $4 billion equipment industry. Real Sports, where nothing is out of bounds. Angel Manfredi joining his wife Yvette and Woody Harrelson in the crowd. No showers here at this outdoor facility, so Angel just toweled himself off and came right over. Woody getting used to the prize fight milieu.
Bam. Round 4. Bam. You can get a hard jab, Shane. You're in corner, coach. Jack, you're in corner.
Jack Mosley, who calls Sugar Shane Mosley's boxing style power boxing, trying to convince Mosley to stand in there and just throw that stiff jab out there.
Harold Letterman, how'd you score the first 3?
Jim, 3-0, 30-27, Sugar Shane Mosley. I got to tell you, you're seeing the versatility of Shane Mosley. Now, John Brown has to rush in to be effective. And every time he rushes in, Shane will hit him with either a left jab, a right uppercut, a left uppercut, or he drops that right hand down on him. But I'll tell you something, John Brown's fighting an awfully rough fight. Once he gets inside, he rides him across the ring and leans on him.
Yeah, and of course, you can't fight a fighter like John Brown without worrying about headbutts. And Shane seems conscious of wanting to stay away from Brown's head as he pile drives his way in. It'll tire you out to wrestle with a smaller man.
Punch out.
Brown not giving Shane much choice. Shane tries to stop him with the uppercut there.
Stop punching. Watch your head.
So far, it's one-sided and ugly.
Brown's punch output limited. He's throwing fewer than 50 punches around, and Mosley scores with the uppercut again. More and more it appears that if Shane Mosley is going to have a chance to hurt John Brown, it'll be if he catches him with one of those uppercuts when Brown is coming in.
All right, I got it. Stop punching. Break. Step out.
Shane looks a lot better physically at his over 150 pounds tonight than was the case when we saw him yesterday just before the weigh-in. The bones in his face straining to get through his starched, dried-out skin as he had peeled himself down to 135 for what he claims will be the last time.
He looked famished.
It's not going to be any picnic for him to make 140.
There's blood. Somebody is bleeding because I see it along the left arm of Mosley. I don't know where it's coming from.
Punch inside.
Hard right hand over the top by Brown. Mosley follows with a combination. Chopping right hand by Mosley. The second one landed.
I got it. Stop punching. Break. Step back.
Blood coming from Brown's lip.
Yeah. Now you're doing it. Now you're doing it. Put that right hand on him some more. You don't like that. Okay? You're going to start bringing his hands up to the body. It's going to become open again. Okay? But you still need to be off. Look, Shane. You start jabbing off the line so you don't run his head into you. Okay? Make it good. Make it stiff. he's sorry. I observed him blowing.
Yeah, he's sorry. Yeah, I know.
Okay, so you can step it up now. You can do a little more power on him. I mean,
He's been about a couple of rounds. Couple of rounds, champ.
Huh? Johnny, look at me. Look at this one. Let me ask you one question. Are you content to go to Tessie with this guy?
No, I want to get him, you know. I'm trying to catch my rhythm with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're done. Give me that like that.
Sure, baby.
Give me some Van Zerto.
You heard the trainer say to John Brown, are you content to just go the distance? And Brown says, I'm just trying to find a rhythm. What rhythm is that?
Get your rhythm, baby. Get your rhythm.
Right there. Bring up those hands. There you go.
Work, John, work. Okay, do it again.
Mosley throwing hard rights, mean intentions on those punches.
Mosley chopping the right hand to Brown's head, and Brown momentarily wobbled by that punch.
Yep.
Brown's so strong, you don't expect to see him knocked down. Mosley caught him on the temple with the right hand, and Brown is now regaining his legs. Jack Mosley asking his son between rounds, hit him some more with the right hand. He doesn't like it. Chopping right hand across the top. And another. Shane Mosley's found his bread and butter punch here. And Brown tries to come back with right hands of his own.
Jim, I see something I've never seen before at the ring. One of the still cameramen are yelling at the side, yelling at the fighters, okay, punch, punch. Every time he gets him in his side. I need a better punch. I need a better shot than you're giving me.
That's amazing. It is happening. John Brown was going to find his rhythm. He found a lot of Shane Mosley right hand. And Mosley waves to the crowd after a highly successful fifth frame.
Who you want to fight? Come here, Mosley. Come on. All right.
You're not like that. I got it. I got this.
A little bit.
John, listen up. Straight shots, baby, and finish with the hook. You put his hands out. But you need your hands up high with a little more head movement coming in lateral. You can't walk straight in on it. You got to rock your head with your hands high and finish your combination with the hook. Do you hear me?
on body shots. But I still want you to move your head off the line because he's coming in with his head. Okay? Set it up with your jab. Got a hard jab, tap.
Early in the round, the big right hand that momentarily wobbled Brown. I don't think Mosley realized that Brown was shaken at that moment.
John Brown just has not been able to find a way to connect consistently with the rangier Shane Mosley. Brown landing in single digits by CompuBox numbers in 4 of the 5 rounds so far, including only 7 punches landed in the last round, the 5th. Now we reach the 6th of a scheduled official 12.
Watch your head.
Mosley, as the rounds progress, trying fewer punches, but landing more accurately. 20 of 48 in that last round. Another flush right hand, followed by a left hook. Brown just pushing and wrestling, and now going to the body. Momentary southpaw stance there for Mosley. Goes back to looking to land the right hand. Unfortunately for the entertainment value of the fight, more and more it appears Brown will be content to try to go the distance.
I don't think he has any choice in what he does. He's a one-speed fighter. The way he's made, his body style is designed to just do what he's trying to do now. He has nothing else that he can call on except his toughness, his willingness to mix it. Hope that something happens in the fight, that maybe Mosley wears down, that maybe a big punch lands. This is who he is.
This August, Sports of the 20th Century on HBO presents the documentary Fists of Freedom, the story of the 1968 Summer Games. In the world of sport, maybe no event transcended playing fields like the 2 weeks of the Summer Olympics in Mexico City. The arenas of politics and athletics colliding in a way which changed the face of sports and to some degree the face of society forever. Fists of Freedom, coming in August right here on HBO.
Use your boxing skills, jab him, move, hit him right hand, move, frustrate him. He's trying to frustrate you. Show him how you can frustrate him back.
Round 7.
Okay? This round 7 coming up. We're not worried about a knockout. We're worried about just boxing.
Okay. I don't move, man. Keep your right hand out.
Yeah,
you know he can't hurt. Come on, let's go, baby. You know he can't hurt you now, JB. Come on. You know he can't hurt you, John.
Okay? That's all. I ain't worried about no knockout. Don't worry about that. We want to hit him here.
Round 6, another in which John Brown landed only a single-digit number. 9 out of 50 punches. Mosley 20 out of 47. Pretty consistent. He was 20 out of 48 in the preceding round. You heard Jack Mosley, Sugar Shane's dad, saying we're not worried about any knockout. We're worried about boxing. In the last 2 rounds, Malcolm Perkins has moved out of the ring. Brown lands a right hand across the top. Has allowed Cash White to be the man to step in front of Brown and talk to him, maybe hoping to change Brown's frame of mind somewhat. Mosley whacking Brown to the body as Brown comes at him like a strong safety busting up a sweep.
I've been thinking it's like a museum guard trying to mug the Mona Lisa.
Our director, Mark Payton, asks a pertinent question, Larry. What round does the crocodile come in?
At this point, I wouldn't mind seeing it.
As long long as they don't wire its mouth shut again. Big right hand for Brown there. John Brown landing 2 or 3 of his most effective punches of the bout here in round 7. And it figured that somewhere along here, Mosley would slack off and have a loss of concentration round because the rounds were beginning to feel the same. Left hand body shot, good tackle by Mosley.
It seems that when a fighter who is as gifted as Mosley and who can use so many different tools of the trade, and he feels probably a little frustrated that it isn't there for him here. This is a survival battle in which his class is telling that he can't be the Shane Mosley that he thinks of himself as.
Well, the guy with the highest knockout percentage of any champion in the history of the sport with more than 25 fights comes home to fight in the desert near his hometown of Pomona after more than 2 years of fighting every fight on the East Coast. Obviously, he wouldn't be human if he didn't want a knockout, and it's going to be very difficult to get one here.
Yeah. It's like kicking a rock.
Earlier on, it appeared that an uppercut would do the damage necessary to break the fight open for Mosley, but he hasn't thrown as many uppercuts in the last few rounds since he hurt Brown momentarily with the chopping right hand over the top. Now Perkins is back in front of John Brown. Incidentally, here on Boxing After Dark, we love to show you round card girls, because you don't see them on World Championship Boxing.
And we need something to break up this fight.
It's the side-to-side wiggle of the ring round card that makes this an important part of the evening.
Throw him all the way up. He's tired. Believe me, he's tired. And he just wants to survive. Okay?
Here's your shot. Here, Ryan. Here, Ben. Johnny, he's almost down. I'm looking at his legs. He's so tired. He can't do shit with you. I'm so proud of you. Okay? Oh, I'm so proud.
Malcolm Perkins.
He's so proud of him.
He sounds like a crazy man, right? Has to say.
Harold, how do you have it through? Well, that's how you have it, huh?
Yeah, I got it 7-0, which 70-63. A complete shutout for Shane Mosley so far. But Jim, I tell you something. In that 7th round, Shane Mosley didn't throw a lot of right hands. He was holding this guy off by dropping a right hand on him. Now, you think that his right hand is starting to hurt him from hitting him on top of the head?
I'll bet you're right. I'll bet you're right, Harold. It's a good way to break your right hand. Keep hitting a guy on top of the head like this. Here comes the uppercut again. You suspect Jack Mosley mentioned the absence of uppercuts, too. Mosley lands punches with much greater frequency when he goes back to throwing the uppercut. Uppercut with the right hand landed flush. Brown totally content to survive.
Well, he does go to survival school, doesn't he?
Yep.
All right, I got it. Stop punching. Break. Step out. Go ahead.
Malcolm Perkins yelling, "No pain, no pain." Easy enough for him to say.
Another hard right hand by Mosley turns Brown's head. And Brown stops punching as Mosley goes to work. Right hand's hurting John Brown. Uppercut set it up. Brown's face becoming a bloody mask. Mosley's cap if he can knock a guy like this out. Mosley in danger of getting punched out. And indeed, his arms are tired. And it appears Brown will make it out of what was Shane Mosley's best round so far.
A 10-8 round.
Come on. All right, we're on timeout. I want you to back off. I want this doctor to take you. Everybody back off. Everybody back off. Let's go. Back off. Doctor's got it.
In California, the doctor can stop the fight.
Look at it. Okay.
And the doctor tells Pat Russell to stop it, and Shane Mosley gets his TKO.
And I think that's a really good stoppage because he was starting to take a terrible beating. There was no way he could win this fight. He hadn't shown that he could hurt Shane Mosley.
That's why we do it.
Once again, Shane Mosley scores a knockout as a lightweight.
By CompuBox numbers in round 8, Shane Mosley was 54 out of 81, 41 out of 63 power shots. You saw the uppercut show for the first minute and a half of the round, the right hand show that followed it. He did everything but put Brown down, and the referee and the doctor conspired to reward him for it in a fight that clearly Brown wasn't going to win. He was only going to get punished the rest of the way.
We've often talked in the past, Jim, about a fight that goes late into the rounds. One fighter has no chance to win the fight. He hasn't shown that he can hurt the other fighter. And it's the accumulation of punches in those 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th rounds that can seriously damage a fighter. So I think the California rule that allowed the doctor to stop the fight worked very well in this instance.
Dr. Paul Wallace advising referee Pat Russell that this one had gone far enough. And here's the replay of Mosley whacking away at Brown with a kitchen sink assortment of punches in the 8th round. Uppercuts, left hooks, right crosses, over and over and over. Because of Brown's extraordinarily strong legs, his will and pride, the fact that he's never been knocked down before, he was able to stay on his feet to take all of this punishment. But you could well envision the way Brown was going to look at the end of the bout if it were allowed to go another 4 rounds. And now let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer with the official particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, acting on the advice of ringside physician Dr. Paul Wallace, our referee Pat Russell calls a halt to the bout at the end of the 8th round. John Brown unable to continue. Your winner and still the undefeated IBF lightweight champion of the world, Sugar Shane Mosley.
And final punch stat numbers from CompuBox will show you Mosley's accuracy. Landing 114 more punches than Brown, throwing 86 more punches than Brown, 43% accuracy against a tough target. The accuracy rate was growing as the bout went on. And of course, in that 8th round, Mosley put on a power punching display that led to these final numbers: 120 out of 232, throwing hooks, crosses, and uppercuts to wind up with a connect percentage of 52% on the power shots. Larry Merchant stands by with Sugar Shane.
Thank you. Thank you, Jim. Congratulations, Shane. Did you think you were going to really get that knockout? Because he just looked like an awful tough nut to crack.
I didn't think I was going to get that knockout tonight. I mean, because he was so short, and it was hard for me to throw punches because, I mean, he's already short, so when he ducks, he goes down even further. So I'm like, he's on the ground.
And you couldn't throw your body punches.
I couldn't throw my body shots. I was like, I wanted to throw them real bad, but then I said, okay, well, I can't throw punches from standing high. So I'm going to bend my knees a little bit, and I'm going to try to get down to his level, and then the shots start coming in a lot easier. Yeah, that's good.
Were you especially trying to look good before your hometown fans coming back to California?
Well, I want to look real good, but, you know, a guy like John Brown, he runs in, he ties you up, he's so strong, he just cuts to the ground. I mean, he made it very hard for me to throw my combinations. I couldn't get any punches off like I wanted to, but, you know, I still landed the good shots and finally eventually I caught up with him and caught some good shots.
You rehydrated from 135 pounds yesterday at about 4 o'clock or 4:30 in the afternoon to 151 pounds before this fight. Did you feel weak fighting this fight, or not as strong as you would like to feel, as you have been saying?
Well, I think I'll feel maybe a little stronger if I was a little bigger, but I still felt pretty good. I think that I probably gained a little bit too much weight before coming in here because I started picking up the pace later on in the rounds because I was actually warming up and losing my weight.
All right, now you have promised this would be your last fight at 135 pounds. If someone came up with a serious offer and one of the fighters who has not been eager to fight you decided he would fight you, would you fight at least one more fight at the lightweight level?
Well, this is something that me and Cedric and HBO will have to talk about, you know, as far as if I was to move up right now or not. We're going to talk it over, HBO, and see what we can come up with.
But clearly you don't want to. You want to move up. You've made that clear, haven't you?
Well, you know, maybe I prefer to. But like I said, we're going to sit down and talk about it and see what we can come up with.
Thanks a lot, Shane. Congratulations once again.